Tax for the poster. Hello, my holly jolly silver belly friends. I'm here with another Nintendo News Roundup, and I'm so happy to see you here today. And I keep expecting the news to stop, to kind of slow down for the season, for the holiday, and it's not. There's a billion news stories to go over, so let's get started. Sakurai recently hosted the nice big presentation, kind of showing off Sephiroth in Smash and all of his moves and all that good stuff, and the character officially comes out in a few days, but very interestingly, you can unlock him early by beating him in this like special little kind of challenge mode. And I think that's really clever. I almost kind of wish like they were all this way. I mean, it's kind of like when the game launched, you know, you had to beat the characters to get them, and I thought that was fun. So I just think it's a really interesting way to do it. It's kind of like, ooh, I got him early. It's like the real launch isn't even the real launch. Everyone's gonna get him early, but I don't know. There's just like a fun element to it, I think. Then, of course, with the presentation, we also got the reveal of the new Mii Fighter costumes that will be coming with Sephiroth, and they are all very appropriate. You know, you got Barret and Tifa from Final Fantasy VII, which is really cool. Oh, and then a painful one. Geno, the Geno costume, the hard deconfirm. And it is disappointing that he doesn't get like a full-on like reskin. It's still just like the Mii costume. A little disappointing, but what are you gonna do? I was saying it for so long. I was saying he would come for so long. He was the last big one, but they didn't. He's not coming. And so now we just gotta wait till the next Smash for him to also not come in that one too. So it seems there was one final surprise direct before the end of the year, but this one was for Super Nintendo World, of all things, which is interesting because, you know, it's in Japan, and we can't, I mean, like, not only is it in Japan, it's not even in our territory yet, but we're not even allowed to go. We can't even really get over there right now. But no, it was a really fun presentation, super charming, just watching Miyamoto walking around, being just so happy. Just like a kid in a candy store around here. He's just so pleased with all this. The park looks incredible. I won't go into too much detail just because I think I'm probably gonna do a dedicated video on this coming up soon. Oh, but it looks so good though. I want to go to Super Nintendo World. Oh, it looks so good. Look at it! And apparently available exclusively in the toy shop, the merch shop at Super Nintendo World. There's this little Mario toy that apparently like the actual like Mario development team worked on. Because there's like a little shell behind him and he kind of walks. It's cute. It's adorable. I kind of want one of those. I can't get one, obviously, but I want one. It's cool. Nintendo also recently had their last Indie World Showcase of the year. They had a lot of stuff going on in December. Just a lot of different presentations and stuff. And as always, it was great. Showed off a lot of really cool games. And, you know, like Spelunky 1 and 2 were on there. I had no idea those games weren't already on the Switch. That was kind of a surprise to me. But then it ended with the one more thing. And I love how like almost all of these presentations have like something pretty juicy at the end. Like they almost every time they have something pretty nice for us. And this one was Among Us, which is great. I'm sure Nintendo was reaching out to the team specifically like, look, we gotta get Among Us on the Switch. We absolutely gotta. So that's great. I mean, it feels like the game only became popular like not even that long ago. So it's great they were able to put together a Switch version so quickly. I wonder if Nintendo like helped them with development or anything. So this week saw another pretty interesting hire at Retro Studios. Well, not a hire. They're looking for a person to fill a position. The position is boss and AI designer, which is pretty cool. A lot of people, you know, every single time one of these stories, people are like, oh, you don't have these basic roles filled yet. This one more than anything, I understand. Like, absolutely. Like, of all the roles that we've heard them trying to fill, this one makes the most sense because, like, designing the AI and the boss and stuff, that's something that can happen pretty, I don't want to say late, but like later in development. You know, you have people like the early stuff is like the prototyping, how the gameplay works, what the story is, what the world is going to be like. And then, you know, when you're in the writing process and you're like, okay, right here, there will be a boss, you know, it'll be a spider boss right here. And so like probably later in the process is when you get someone in there to actually like, okay, how does this boss work? But anyway, that's just kind of cool. I love always seeing the hires. I was joking on Twitter how like, man, I could design a boss, but then you get into the AI design part, yeah, you lost me. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the perfect position for me to fill at Retro Studios. It'll be here eventually, I'm sure, you know. lord and master of story, king, general, like perfect executive manager, king, makes all the decisions, that kind of thing. I could do that. You let me know, Retro, if anyone's listening to this. I'm just, my door's open. My figurative door's open, call me. So Nintendo of America President Doug Bowser recently did a pretty lengthy interview with Polygon. And it's a little bit interesting because it seems to be like a really big, in-depth interview where like just about every possible thing they could ask, they asked about Nintendo and everything that's going on, current issues, and he managed to answer none of it. Like none of it. Every single thing is a non-answer, and it's a little bit upsetting. But I also don't know what to expect. Reggie did the same thing. When you're asked an impossible question, you can't possibly answer it because there is no answer, or you don't have the authority to answer, then what are you gonna do? So I guess he probably did his best. I got a couple, they asked a lot of questions, but I got a couple picks here. Like they asked him about Joy-Cons, Joy-Con drift, that whole issue, and he gave a non-answer. Of course, he kind of was just like, yeah, it's a problem, but we're always working with the fans. Like right at the end, he kind of gives like a tiny little glimmer. Oh, we're kind of looking into it in order to improve in the future, but it's like, it's been a while. If you haven't already done that, it kind of seems like you're just, whatever. Doesn't seem like a problem that's going away anytime soon. They also asked him about limited releases, and he gave another kind of non-answer. I mean, like, it's kind of an answer, it's just not a good one. Basically like, oh, well, it's anniversary stuff, so the anniversary stuff is tied with the anniversary, but it's like, okay, people want to play Super Mario 64 even when it's not the anniversary, so not really a good answer, but I go into that in other videos, I'm sure. I actually have it coming, by the way. I keep saying that every time this comes up, that I've got the video. I'm gonna do a whole video on limited releases. That is actually coming. It is currently in production and very close to being completed. So there you go. Look forward to that pretty soon here. And then he also just kind of talked about Game Pass. Everyone's always been talking about Xbox Game Pass coming to Switch. He's kind of like, nah, it's probably not going to happen. I don't anticipate it ever happening. It would be cool. It just seems like a little bit too much of a crossing of the platforms. I know Xbox wants Game Pass on everything that they possibly can, but I don't see, from Nintendo's perspective, how that would really benefit them. So, yeah. So Nintendo announced the newest batch of games coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and keeping with tradition, it's a handful of games you never heard of and one good game, which is very frustrating because it really does feel like such purposeful, strategic drip feeding. It's just, I'm not saying nobody's ever heard of these. I've never heard of the other games. Almost every time I've never heard of the other games. I have no interest in playing the other games. And then Donkey Kong. But they are kind of going down the list. They gave us the Donkey Kong games. I think at this point I'm just waiting for Super Mario RPG. That's like the main one for me. But I am happy to get Donkey Kong Country 3. I have yet to play 2 and 3. So I actually am looking forward to the time when I'm able to sit down with those, maybe after Christmas, because things are crazy right now and I can't play any video games. Did you know that, never mind. I was going to go into it. Basically, I haven't even completed Age of Calamity yet, and it's been a month. It's been a month and I still haven't. That's why the review hasn't happened yet, because it's holidays and it's a crazy, crazy season. Anyway, moving on. What are we doing here? TWOOTER Roundup. What's the Roundup? We're always seeing the Switch break these records, like, oh, the best-selling whatever, and it's been the top-selling, console in the US for 24 months. Here we have another one. In Canada, it's been the top-selling console for 25 consecutive months, so that's pretty impressive. Also, on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, apparently Nintendo's share values have gone very, very high up. They've hit their highest level since the Wii. Since the Wii was at its, absolute peak. They're that high again, and that's incredible. I think even when the Switch started to really take off, I don't want to say doubtful, but I was definitely wondering whether or not it would be okay, it's gonna do well. Is it gonna do Wii levels of good? Yeah, it basically is. It basically has been. This is just absolutely another glory days for Nintendo. This is another one of those magical times that people will look back on and be like, remember the Switch? Back then, everything was super. I'm not saying everything will go bad later, but there's a good chance that it will take a while before they're able to match this level of success, just like it took them a while to match the Wii. Here's an unfortunate piece of Japanese-related news, though. Apparently, a lot of people in Japan have been receiving consoles that stopped working. They're just faulty. They got like a weird error code, and they can't get them to work. This seems to be isolated just in Japan, and obviously Nintendo is, working to correct it and get people their new systems and stuff. But that is interesting, and it's funny because it could really happen anywhere. It could have happened here. It could happen to you. So hopefully they're able to isolate the problem and kind of deal with that. So apparently Nintendo and Sony and Microsoft have kind of partnered together to kind of try to make gaming safer on their platforms. All of my information on this comes from the Nintendo Life article, and I'm actually having a hard time knowing exactly what that means or what Nintendo themselves have committed to, because in the article we see a guy from Xbox talking about all this. So I don't know exactly what the partnership means, what each individual company is doing, but apparently it is something that they are interested in pursuing. Nintendo, they've been a little overreachy in the past as far as safety. Like, oh, we don't want the kids to play online. We don't want anyone to have voice chat because then a little kid will hear a potty word or whatever. But overall, the idea of safe and, of course, accessible gaming is great. This is a good thing. Do it. You heard it right here from Arlo's own mouth. Accessibility and safety are good things. Anyway, moving on. That was almost worthless. I had nothing important to say about that, and I didn't even understand what the article was saying. This is a good week. You know what? It's almost Christmas. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little loose and silly here. An official Funimation app has hit the Switch, which is pretty cool for people who like to watch the animes on streaming services and apps. You can get that on Switch, which is pretty great because there's not enough streaming apps on Switch yet. If you ask me, I want them all. Put them all on there. Why not? Germany, Austria, and Australia are getting a line of Nintendo-themed Burger King toys in their kids' meals. Some of these are kind of fun. It's very specific regions. I don't know if there are plans for these to come anywhere else, but I don't know. There you go. I want to be like, when I was a teenager playing the first Animal Crossing game, I never would have imagined that I'd get an Animal Crossing toy in a Burger King kids meal. Never in a million years. But that's not really true, because when I was a kid, you don't really understand how popularity works, Even if there's a game that, nobody played but me, if they made kids' toys out of it, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. It's a cool game, Never in a million years did I imagine Mario would get toys. It's incredible. Anyway, now here's a very conflicting story. Evil corporate entertainment entity, Tencent, is hiring a Pokemon consultant. Now, what's so funny is, the company is so evil. I would never want to work for them. And of course, they're pretty much making Pokemon Unite, which is coming out next year sometime. So a lot of people are feeling a little bit icky about that. But they're hiring a bunch of people, and one of them is a consultant. This is the dream job. This actually is a thing I would have dreamed about as a kid. They want someone who just knows a bunch about Pokemon. They have literally requirements of have you watched 500 episodes of the show, and you basically just have to be really, really knowledgeable about Pokemon. You gotta know all the Pokemon. You gotta know the world of Pokemon. And I just think that's so funny that there is a person who is gonna get a job literally just based on Pokemon, just their knowledge of Pokemon. The fact that they've been playing Pokemon their whole lives and they've got all the toys and they've watched all the anime, that's gonna land someone probably a pretty good job. But yeah, then you gotta work for Tencent. And so that's less ideal. But it is funny though. And I think it's pretty cool. I hate to say it, but it's really the right thing to do in a situation where you have so many projects, so many games and movies and adaptations and everything that would all go a lot more smoothly if you just talk to actual people. People who are knowledgeable about a subject and like a subject. You'd get a lot more done. A lot of companies would get a lot more done. So this person is probably gonna have a pretty nice cushy job, and that will benefit the project greatly. Mario Kart Tour is having a whole Rosalina-themed event with starry skies and icy planets. And if anything, this is always just worth bringing up because it just continues to be sad how much support Mario Kart Tour has been getting. Obviously people who like the game, that's great, but lots and lots of people really just kind of waiting for the next real home console Mario Kart. And it's just kind of really, why? Why are you updating that game so much and we can't get anything new for 8? Even if not 9, at least some DLC for 8 or something. Oh, it's just so many characters and modes and everything. Oh, yeah, it's kind of sad. And then next, it has been a while. It has absolutely been a while. I used to really, really enjoy new Dr. Mario World characters, and here we go. Another, just another classic one, Dr. Piranha Plant. I love it. I love it. I don't know why, because it's just using the same dumb Nintendo model of, like, you know, it's like the Paper Mario thing. No one can be an actual character. All you can do is put different little suits on regular Mario baddies. I don't even care. When you put Doctor in front of it and you put a little lab coat on him, that's just delightful. I love it. Dr. Piranha Plant, not quite as good as Dr. Goomba Stack, but pretty up there. So Bravely Default 2 had a demo. Did it have 2 demos? I know it at least had 1 demo before, and they gathered all the feedback on that, which is really, really amazing. But apparently there's one final demo going out. You can play it up to launch. If you download the demo and play it, you can get a bunch of like free platinum coins for your My Nintendo account, which is pretty cool. Apparently the eShop had a bit of a loophole that publishers could exploit to essentially make their games free. Like if you owned a different game, you could get like 100% discount on it, and they used this in order to get, I mean, in the same way that they use really, really, really steep discounts just to get their games listed in the top sellers list, and then the sale ends, and then, oh, look at that, this game is $10, but oh, it's really high on the top sellers list. I don't know if it actually works. I guess I've heard that people have had pretty good success. It's hard for me to believe with these like really bad looking games that are like 99% off, 100% off. Hard for me to believe, getting a lot of sales off of that, but apparently Nintendo has closed the loophole. It is no longer possible to do this, or it is possible to get it to 100% off, but that will not affect its sales, you know, its sales rankings in order to put it higher in the list and on the, you know, on the sales page or whatever, so that will no longer benefit them. UK retailer Game has created a Mario perfume. A luxury Mario perfume, eau de plumeur. And, alright, says it smells like mushrooms. That's gross. That's nasty. Wow. This is the thing. If you looking for the perfect Christmas present for someone in the world is going to appreciate this. None of them are coming to me at the moment, but there you go. And finally, this is so weird. I don't understand this. I'm trying to like figure out what's going on here. Okay, so Nintendo, Swap Note. Swap Note was on the 3DS. I loved Swap Note. I played it with my friends. You could just trade pictures back and forth, and Nintendo shut it down because it was an app that let you trade pictures back and forth. And apparently Nintendo just updated it. They gave it an update, even though it's not a thing anymore. You can't send pictures to each other anymore, but they updated it. 7 years. They killed it 7 years ago, and they gave it an update. Okay, well, that's the news. That's the news for today, I guess. It's weird. Thank you for watching. It's almost Christmas. It's the holidays. I hope you're having a really great holiday season time. I'm not having a good. I mean, okay, no, it's fine. I just have a lot to do. There's a lot of end of year stuff, and I'm trying to do them, and I don't even know if all the end of year videos are gonna make it in December. But we are all trying our best. Me and Kane and Yoshiller are all working full time, trying to get all this done. It has been stressful, but I'm trying to get as much done as I can before Christmas and then enjoy a few days of Christmas. And then, yeah, basically that. I just final push until rest comes. Maybe I'll finish Age of Calamity. But thank you for watching. Hope you're having a great holidays time. Already said all that. Whatever. Just gotta end this video. See you later. I love you.